Hey guys, Chevy with Extreme Whitetails, May the 2nd. Here we are in the off season, but again, it's never the off season. We always have something on the go. And today I want to talk to you about something that is overlooked, which is basic survival gear. Whether you are the type of outdoorsman, hunter, all that kind of stuff that, goes a long ways back to these remote locations, or whether you are hunting agriculture and you're in a bush lot. Some of the bush lots can be quite large. You should always have basic survival gear. I've been hunting for 40 years, basically 40 years. When I was 12 years old, my dad was taking me out. And even at that time, I don't believe my dad was bringing really anything for basic survival gear. I grew up hunting on the water for whitetails, always remote. And yeah, I look back and I'm glad that we didn't get into a tough way. So I want to talk to you about the basics. Maybe you're already packing something, maybe you're not, but I'm going to show you some stuff here that'll definitely put you in a better way if you have to spend the night in the bush. First of all, we're going to go with a fire starter. You should always have a fire starter on your person. My go-to are these waterproof, they're actually not waterproof matches, but they're matches in a waterproof container. They have the striking strip on the front that is removable, so you can swap it out when that one gets wore out. There's always a spare striker strip inside. These matches are pretty awesome because they are like a sparkler. When you strike them, you cannot blow them out. You can even dip them in the water, they won't go out until they get to the bottom of the orange. They have a rubber seal on the lid, and you can also get refills for them. They're made by a company called UCO, and this is a refill of 25 matches. Cabela's Mountain Equipment Co-op. I'm sure you can even order them on Amazon. Anyhow, that's my go-to. A lot of people prefer a lighter. I'm going to recommend that if a lighter is your go-to, or that's what you want to stick in your pocket, that you remove the child safety strip on the lighter, because if your hands get cold, if you're slightly hypothermic, you start to lose dexterity in your fingertips, and then it becomes very difficult to strike that lighter, okay? Teamed with the lighter, Canadian Tire, Cabela's, every hardware store has some type of a fire starter. I would take a cotton ball rubbed in Vaseline in a Ziploc bag. That's probably going to last 8 years, up to 8 years in this darn bag. I will take this any day over any other fire starter to be teamed with my matches. So there's a cotton ball rubbed in Vaseline. That's it. Stick it in a Ziploc bag, forget about it. Keep it in your pocket. If you need it, you pull it apart. One of these will burn for approximately 5 minutes. In the meantime, if you're in a bad way, you're gathering materials to get your fire going, right? You've got your fine fire bundle style kindling stuff. No point in birch bark or anything if you've got this, but you go to your fine sticks, to your slightly larger sticks, like a pencil size to finger size, and then up and up, right? But you're gathering those materials while you light this, and this is going to give you some time. Okay, so like I talked about with the cotton balls of Vaseline is my go-to. I'm going to strike one of these matches right now and light that cotton ball, and you'll see how long it'll burn for. And you're going to see how great these matches are. So you can't blow it out. So the cotton ball is lit. Okay, next, something you should always have on your person is a headlamp. Every day at work, the headlamp's in my side pocket. When I'm working around the yard, the headlamp's in my side pocket, because whether you're hooking onto a trailer before it gets daylight and you need light, some people might be holding onto their phone. Putting a headlamp on, it's a no-brainer, and it's a game changer. So you should always have a headlamp on your person, whether you're using rechargeable or the ones that take the AAAs. They're all good. That's your choice. Okay, next we're going to talk about, in a basic pack, a small axe or hatchet. versus a folding saw. Okay, so this is a quality small little axe here. It's a carpenter's axe, but any day in my basic pack, I'm going to choose a folding saw, and here's why. So you're forced to spend the night in the bush. You're trying to put together some bit of a shelter. Maybe you're fatigued, maybe you're slightly injured. When you're swinging this axe after a while and you're tired, you know, whether you're limbing a tree or just knocking a tree down. Sometimes axes skip off trees, skip off things, and there it is into your thigh, okay? So, folding saw, super compact. That's one made by Woods. You can buy it at, you know, your local hardware store. Super cheap, like $35, $30. They do make a company called Silky. They make some pretty amazing saws, and I would highly recommend them if you want to spend the money up to $150 to $200. But regardless, having a small folding saw in your pack is going to help you out. Because we talked about possibly injuring yourself, you should always have a small little first aid kit on you. Basic stuff, gauze, Band-Aids, you know, just some basics in there. Something else that a lot of people don't think about is a tourniquet. You can buy these on Amazon for under $20, and I've always got one in my pack. Because think of the knives that we use, always super sharp for field dressing your game. Many times I've seen friends helping other friends, you know, hold a whitetail on its back while you're splitting the belly, and I've seen guys come up with a knife and nick their friends or cut themselves. And if you happen to cut yourself in the wrong spot, we all know you could bleed out super fast. So these tourniquets are super easy to use. If you've never used one, you simply open it up, Velcro, wrap it around, and then this here, you twist it until you basically become slightly uncomfortable, and then it fits in there. The ones that you buy also have a tag that you can wrap over and write the time that you actually applied it on there. Hospitals want that information once you cut the circulation off, so they can, you know, determine muscle damage and all that kind of stuff with lack of circulation. Anyhow, doesn't take up any room. Awesome little piece of kit. Another super important piece of kit is a tarp. Like a 10 by 10 tarp is what I recommend. Again, hardware store, you can buy them for under $10 for a 10 by 10, but those ones take up a little bit more room. And if you've got room in your pack or your Rubbermaid or whatever you kind of have on you all the time, that's fine. This one is off of Amazon. It's a 10 by 10. It's pretty compact. Comes with some cordage inside. If I'm gonna throw that over a down tree or you know, something like that, just to, again, the whole idea of this is if I've got to spend the night in the bush, these basics are gonna put myself in a better situation so I can survive the night. That's what it's all about. You survive the night. Hopefully you told somebody where you were going and what you were doing. 12 hours in the bush. By morning, somebody should be looking for you ideally. And if not, you just continue to better your situation. So there's your tarp. A little bit more cord, 50 feet of cord for some, you know, you might have to fasten that tarp a little better. Water, huge. You can never have enough water, so fit in all the water that you can. After I've set up my little shelter, it's nice to throw on a dry toque. Even in the spring, summer months, the nights get cold, so having a toque, a buff in your survival pack is definitely nice. We're all getting up there in age, or some of us are. Aspirin, again, doesn't take up any room for that healthy heart, right? And then Advil in here. Electrical tape. Electrical tape can be utilized to repair your four-wheeler. It can be utilized to, you cut your finger and now you're gonna cut a chunk of your shirt off, wrap it around there, and hold it on there with electrical tape, okay? And beyond that, always a good idea to have a compass on you. I always have a Garmin Rhino on me. I've got apps on my phone. There's iHunter, you know, there's Onyx. There's so many good apps, but phones go dead. This always works. So great idea to have a compass on you. And then just, you know what, if you've got a little bit of a pack that you're going to put together, and then what I recommend is not touching it when you're, for example, I'm not stealing a granola bar out of my survival pack for lunch. If I've got a couple of basics in my pack for hunting, that's different. But if you're going to piece together a survival pack, having a little bit of food in there is a great idea. Another pair of gloves, a little bit of toilet paper, and that's it. So it's just something that I've thought a lot about, all the years, probably 20 plus years that I used to go hunt off the water in November, freezing cold temperatures by myself, coming back after dark, and I didn't even have a fire starter on me. So I just want those folks to know that putting a few basic things in your pack could go a long way. Thanks for watching.